Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the village board meeting of June 24th. Please join us in our pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Roll call, Ms. Flores.
Trustee Harris Jones. Here. Trustee Willis. Trustee Heiferman.
Here.
President Hopefield.
Here.
Trustee Simpson.
Here.
Trustee Mason.
Here.
Trustee Roman.
Representing staff this evening, my left, our village manager Napoleon Haney. To my right, our village attorney Chris Cumming. To the audience's right. In the room outside is our police chief Denise McGrath, our community and economic development director Angela Maceras, public works director Joshua Berman, and assistant village manager Aaron Sakwa. The minutes of June 10th. Any additions or corrections, Trustee Harris?
No, not for me.
Trustee Heitzman?
I have none.
Trustee Simpson? None. Trustee Mason?
No, sir.
I have a motion to approve the minutes, please.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved by Trustee Mason, seconded by Trustee Simpson. Roll call, please.
Trustee Harris Jones.
Aye.
Trustee Heiferman.
Aye.
Trustee Simpson.
Aye.
Trustee Mason.
Aye.
And Trustee Roman. Oh, she.
And I'll vote on all of these tonight.
You'll vote,
Well,
okay.
I vote aye.
President Hopefield.
The minutes are approved. The claims list in the amount of $426,393.32. Comments or questions, Trustee? Harris?
Nothing for me.
Trustee Heitzman?
I have none.
Trustee Simpson?
None for me, sir.
Trustee Mason?
No, sir.
May I have a motion to approve the claims list, please?
So moved.
Second.
Been moved by Trustee Mason, seconded by Trustee Harris Jones. Roll call, please.
Trustee Harris Jones.
Aye.
Trustee Heiferman.
Aye.
Trustee Simpson.
Aye.
Trustee Mason.
Aye.
President Hopefield.
Aye. Hear from the audience. If anyone in the audience would like to address the board on any subject not on the agenda, please raise your hand. Yes, ma'am.
Careful.
That's okay.
Be careful.
Amy Crump, Homewood, Illinois. I'm continuing to read from the book on tyranny, 20 lessons from the 20th century. And I did time myself, so I won't run over to this one. Chapter 8, stand out. Someone has to. It is easy to follow along, and it can feel strange to do or say something different. But without that unease, there is no freedom. The moment you set an example, the spell of the status quo is broken and others will follow. Well before the Second World War, numerous European states had abandoned democracy for some form of right-wing authoritarianism. In 1938, none of the great powers offered any resistance as Germany annexed Austria. That same year, the great powers, France, Italy, and Great Britain, then led by Neville Chamberlain, actually cooperated with Nazi Germany in the partition of Czechoslovakia. In 1939, the Soviet Union allied with Nazi Germany in the invasion of Poland. The Polish government chose to fight, activating agreements that brought Great Britain and France into the war. When Winston Churchill became prime minister in May 1940, Great Britain was actually alone. And in June, Churchill told the British Parliament that the Battle of Britain is about to begin, and the Germans began the bombing of British cities. Churchill did what others had not done. Rather than concede in advance, he forced Hitler to change his plans. And in 1941, with Britain still in the war, Germany attacked its Soviet ally. Now Moscow and London were suddenly unexpected allies. Today, what Churchill did seems normal and right, but at the time, he had to stand out. Of course, Great Britain was only in the war because the Polish leadership had chosen to fight in September 1939. In late 1940, the Germans began to establish ghettos in the part of Poland under their control. Teresa, I'm going to say this wrong, Rekorova, a very young woman, stood out among her friends and family in her reaction to this horror. She had observed that people quietly allowed their Jewish friends to slip away from their lives. Without telling her family and at great risk to herself, Teresa chose to enter the Warsaw Ghetto a dozen times in the late 1940s, bringing food and medicine to Jews she knew and Jews she did not. By 1942, she had helped a family escape just before the Germans carried out what they called the Great Action, killing 10,380 Jews in the ghetto itself. Teresa later became a historian of the Holocaust, writing about the Warsaw Ghetto and about others who had helped aid Jews. She called her actions normal. From our perspective, her actions seem exceptional. She stood out. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to address the board this evening? If not, the omnibus vote, Ms. Flores.
We ask the board to consider a motion to pass, approve, authorize, accept, or award the following items. Waive competitive bidding due to the utilizing a vendor through a joint governmental or cooperative purchasing program, Suburban Purchasing Cooperative, and approve the purchase of 2 Ford utility interceptors from Curry Motors Fleet of Frankfurt in the amount of $91,148 plus additional and uplifting to the vehicles for a total of $133,948. Waive competitive bidding due to purchasing through a joint governmental or cooperative purchasing program, Sourcewell Cooperative Purchasing Advantages, and authorize the purchase and delivery of John Deere loader from the West Side Tractor Sales in the amount of $121,572.37. Please award the bid for the 2025 sidewalk survey and saw cutting or grinding of trip hazards to Universal Concrete Grinding LLC of Ohio, the lowest responsible bidder, for the unit price of $38.82 per cut, and the total contract amount not to exceed $75,000, based on a unit rate of 1,932 trip hazard locations will be addressed. Pass ordinance M2360, authorizing the village manager to sell, trade in, or dispose of 5 vehicles and equipment listed as surplus property. Authorize the village president to enter into agreement renewal between the Maureen Ronan of Western Springs and the Village of Homewood for lobbying services from July 1st, 2025 to June 30th, 2028 in the amount of $3,000 per month. Pass resolution R3226, supporting and consenting to a Class 8 Cook County real estate tax classification for the property located at 3355 183rd Street, owned by Zena Taylor. Pass resolution R3227, authorizing the village president to enter into redevelopment agreement with Larry Kane Jonathan of Kane Salon and Spa to provide financial assistance from the non-TIF Business Incentive Program in the amount of $3,247 for building improvements at 18065 Harwood Avenue, Retail Suite Number 2. Pass resolution R3228, authorizing the village president to enter into redevelopment agreement with Beverly Spearman to reimburse eligible expenses in the amount of $21,990 for improvements to the building at 17911 Harwood Avenue. Direct staff to negotiate a purchase and sale agreement to the sale of village-owned commercial property located at 17701 Brett's Drive for $750,000 to Barefoot Land of Florida to develop a modern one-story self-storage facility on the property. Pass resolution R3229, approving a second amendment to the redevelopment agreement between the Village of Homewood, the Village of East Hazelcrest, and Wind Creek for the redevelopment of property to construct a casino, hotel, and parking garage within the Northeast Tax Increment Redevelopment Project Area in Homewood and the Halster Street Redevelopment Project Area in the Village of East Hazelcrest, increasing the amount of expenses eligible for TIF reimbursements from $55 million to $70 million.
Thank you. Any comments or questions from anyone in the audience with regard to these matters? No? Board comments?
Nothing.
Trustee Haferman. Trustee Sampson.
Nothing, sir.
Trustee Mason.
All good, nothing.
Ms. Taher, I have some questions for you. Been a while since we've seen one another. Your property on 183rd Street. It's in very nice condition right now. You had been cited in the past. Are you going to make sure that you keep it up the way it is?
Yes, I will.
Do you have a tenant for that space?
Yes, I do.
Who pays the taxes?
I do.
Okay. So they have a net lease. Who's responsible for the exterior, the tenant or you? The landscaping and all? They're responsible for that? Maintaining the bushes and all of that.
The people who live in this.
They're responsible for keeping that up. Okay, it looks very nice, as I said. Please see that it's kept up. And in the back of your place, get those weeds down.
The reduction on it, but they make it do it.
I'm sorry?
There's a reduction on it, okay?
Yeah, no, right behind your place to where the fence goes. It extends to your fence. I was out there this morning. There's high weeds. You should cut those down. But other than that, your property looks very nice. Please keep it up. All right, with all that being said, may I have a motion to approve the items on the consent agenda, please?
So. Second.
Been moved by trustee Hyperman, seconded by trustee Mason. Roll call, please.
Trustee Harris Jones.
Aye.
Trustee Hyperman.
Aye.
Trustee Simpson.
Aye.
Trustee Mason.
Aye.
President Hofield.
Aye. General board discussion. Any comments or questions?
I would like to thank everyone for coming out tonight to attend our meeting.
July 17th, Homewood Science Center has its annual fundraiser fun night. It's really our big opportunity to connect to the adult community. I encourage everybody to go to the village website. We'll have a link to ticket sales, July 17th, Idlewild Country Club. And I look forward to seeing lots of people there.
Trustee Simpson.
Myself, trustee Mason and trustee Roman had the opportunity to visit the casino, hotel and restaurant. Great experience, beautiful, beautiful view. We went on a Tuesday. It was very crowded. We were fortunate enough to get a tour of the VIP room, which is the presidential suite, for a low price of only $2,000 a night. Beautiful. Beautiful place. I then went the following Friday with my wife and dined at the restaurant on the 17th floor. And what a beautiful view of the city of Chicago skyline. I cannot recommend it enough. The food was fantastic. Beautiful spot. They were very gracious to the trustees that visited, and we got to get a peek behind the curtain, and very impressed. Very, very, very nice place. Very nice place. So.
Trustee Mason.
Everybody, the first of our Martin Square block parties is Thursday, 6 to 10. Please come out, enjoy. I think we're off to a great start with our community events. I have enjoyed all of them, and I look forward to being out there being Thursday. I just want to say that you know, we've been under excessive heat warning for this past weekend, and we may have some more heat coming up later in the week. Got a little break today, but just be mindful of neighbors, families, friends that may be elderly or sick, and check on them. Make sure that they're doing okay. I called and found out my brother was without air conditioning, and when it's excessive heat like that inside of a closed building or room, it can get extremely hot. There are cooling centers open for Cook County, as well as this boardroom is a cooling center Monday through Friday, 9 to 5?
8 to 5.
8 to 5.
Correct.
So just check on your neighbors, make sure they're doing okay, and if they need some assistance, you know, you can give us a call. We'll help you figure it out.
Pets as well.
Pets, please take care of your pets.
Yeah.
Don't leave them out. Make sure they got fresh water. Make sure they have shade at the very least.
The 4th of July is right around the corner, a week from Friday. The 4th of July parade takes off from, I always say St. Joe's, it'll always be St. Joe's. Parking lot at 10 o'clock on the 4th. The grand marshal of this year's parade is Homewood's most senior, Mary Cantway, who will be 111 years old on September 30th. And if you look up Mary, she is the 45th oldest person in the United States. So we'll give her a welcome, and no, she doesn't have to walk the route. She's going to get a ride. So we'll make sure of that. So hope you all can come out for the 4th of July. May I have a motion to enter into executive session to discuss the purchase or lease of real property?
So moved.
Second?
A motion been made by trustee Mason, seconded by trustee Harris Jones. Roll call, please.
Trustee Harris Jones.
Aye.
Trustee Hyperman.
Aye.
Trustee Simpson. Trustee Mason.
Aye.
President Hofield.
Aye. We'll take a short recess. Thank you all for being here this evening.